Hey everybody, how's it going? Great to hear. Welcome back to the thin green line tutorial. Again, what I'm trying to do is give a little look into how I keep my lawn green, striped, looking real nice all summer long. Today, we're going to do a quick video on fertilizer. Now, it's mid-April, and now is the time to start putting fertilizer down on the lawn to make sure it gets set up properly. In our case, we're putting down a fertilizer plus pre-emergent. So what we're trying to do is prevent all those weeds, dandelions, and other nonsense from growing before they even have a chance to. So let's take a quick look at the fertilizer that I'm putting down today, and I'll try to explain a little bit as to why I'm putting it down and the numbers behind them. All right, what we're looking at here is Let's Go brand fertilizer plus pre-emergent. And again, this is what I'm recommending for this time of the year. This is the first application of anything I'm putting down on the lawn. Certainly last fall, I put down a nice winterizer to put the lawn to sleep. Now I'm trying to wake it back up. So this is what we're putting down today. Again, Let's Go fertilizer plus pre-emergent. Let's Go is the preferred brand. I mean, let's be honest, there really is no other category out there if you're talking about a professional homeowner style lawn like we're after. Let's take a look at the numbers here. We're looking at 1906. To break that down for you, essentially that first number represents the nitrogen, the second number represents the phosphorus, and the third number, the 6 there, represents the potassium in there. Now, a good rule of thumb that I've heard over the years to, a way to think about this is essentially up, down, all around. Up, down, all around. So the 19, the nitrogen, is going to affect the leafy green of the blade of grass. It's going to really make that blade green, strong, and healthy. The 0 here, the down, is going to strengthen the roots. It's going to make the roots strong. It's going to keep them healthy through bad weather, through pest issues, or typically what you see a higher number here for is a winterizer, because you want to make that root nice and strong through the winter to deal with the frost and other issues that come with winter. And the last one there, the potassium, the all around, it creates a good healthy food for the entire plant from the root to the blade. So again, that's just a quick overview. When you see the numbers kind of get higher or lower in a particular area, it kind of speaks to what you're trying to do. So at this time of the year, the nitrogen on this one is pretty high because we want to get that blade of grass green again. We've got a nice dull brown with some green starting to show through. So we really want to beef up that green color to get our lawn back in order again. All right, now what we want to focus on is the spreader that you're going to use to put it down. You're going to want to spend some decent money to get a good spreader, because when you get a less expensive spreader, it's not going to have an equal distribution of the product that you want. And what happens there is you get clumping in some areas, heavier in some areas, and lighter in some areas, and you're going to have a discolored lawn and risk burning the lawn. So what we have here is a nice Let's Go spreader, nice pneumatic wheels, and what's also nice about it is that it matches up to the Let's Go fertilizer. On each bag, there's a diagram over here as far as what spreader you're using and how much to put out according to that particular spreader. So here, I like to set it somewhere in the middle, and that's about 13 to 14. And I typically go a little bit less, because what I like to do, what I'll show you, is do a crisscross pattern. So that way, you're avoiding having that the darker greens lines that you'll see in some lawns where the person just went one direction, put it down heavy, maybe skipped a little spot, and then heavy in another area. So when you do a crisscross, it helps you get an equal distribution across the entire lawn and avoid those green lines, green stripes that we're not looking for. So let's head out to the lawn and I'll show you how I put it down. All right, I got my Let's Go spreader dialed in. I got the fertilizer plus pre-emergent in there. I've got my tires are properly inflated, properly greased, ready to go. So we're going to start. Come on along. Some other things to be considerate of is, if you got some new grass, you want to be careful about the type of fertilizer you put down. You don't want to be putting down anything with a pre-emergent control in there, because that's going to control any new growth. It doesn't care if it's new grass or weeds. It's going to stop any new growth from coming up. So if you just put down a fresh lawn in the fall, I'd stay away from the pre-emergent, at least for a couple of mowings into the season, to get that root system built up nice and strong before you put down that pre-emergent. Now, as you saw, I put down my fertilizer and pre-emergent. After that, I also put down some nice lime. Now, if you saw my first video my second video on soil samples, my soil sample told me that my soil the pH was quite high. So now every time I put down fertilizer, I put down lime, but that's going to be very specific to your particular needs. So pay attention to that. But this is the lime I put down. Lime is very forgiving. If you put down more in one area than the other, it's not going to make that big of a difference. So you can put it down liberally. The nice part about lime also is very inexpensive. This bag here, 50-pound bag, about $6. Really can't go wrong. So if your soil sample calls for lime, go ahead and put that lime down as much as you need to get that lawn nice and greened up. All right, before we say goodbye today, we're going to finish on a very important topic. That topic is maintenance. If you want your equipment to perform at its best, you've got to keep it at its best, and sometimes it takes a little bit of work. So I told you before, I put some lime down. Lime's very dirty, very grimy. So what we're going to do after, just take a simple hose and spray down our spreader. Make sure that spreader is nice and good, ready to go before the next application. As you can see, a lot of dirt, a lot of grime coming out of there. If you take care of equipment, it'll take care of you. All right, we got our spreader nice and cleaned up. She's ready to go for the next application when that time comes. Until then, take a look back at my previous videos. We got one on dethatching. We got one on soil samples. Both very important topics to get the year started off right. We're going to be covering a bunch of topics coming up, some really important ones. The fertilizer one was one piece of what I like to call the triangle of trust. Okay, I believe there's three very important pieces to any quality lawn that you see around town. The first part I showed you today was fertilizer. There's two more in the triangle of trust. Take away any part of that triangle, it falls apart. No good. I'm not going to tell you what those other two are. You got to come back and see me again. All right? Click that link button over there, subscribe over there, and like it, comment, and we'll see you back next time. Thanks.